Okay, sorry for the delay. It's hard to film things on camera when you don't want to look at yourself. But we're back with Wicked. I don't remember what part we're on. But we are book 2, chapter 2 about Bach. So this is where we meet Bach, and it's from his point of view. And he's in love with Glinda, which is what you found out in this chapter. And with Elphaba's help, he gets to meet Glinda in the kitchen garden. He says, oh, we can just be friends. We can just be friends. Be friends with me. And then you meet his Bach's friends, Crope and Tibbet. And they have a picnic together. And Glinda announces she's going to spend her summer with her friends. I think it's Fanny and Shin Shin at Fanny's lake house. Elphaba then tells everyone she's working as Dr. Dillman's assistant, and Bach likes this because he's a little bit obsessed with Dr. Dillman. So during the summer, we're at the summer now, Bach's working at the library at Three Queens College and helps Elphaba with the research that she's helping Dr. Dillman with, and she goes over the research with Bach. And he agrees to help her get books because it's something like, I assume women aren't allowed in the libraries. Excuse me. Bach, Crope, and Tibbet meet her each week at the cafe in secret to exchange the information and books and things. Elphaba tells them that Dr. Dillman is working on a scientific breakthrough using an instrument that sounds like a microscope. And they start talking about how animals, capital animals, originally became sentient. I think that's the right way to say it. So there's different theories and stories about that. One of them is that capital animals are descended from survivors of a flood made by Lurline, the queen fairy, Lurline's urine. Yeah, urine. Another theory says that the flood was caused by the tears of the unnamed god. So if you remember, like there's different religions. I guess they're called religions. Some people follow the unnamed god, and there are still Lurlinists who believe that that's the correct god. Third theory says that animals gain sentience from a Cumbric witch spell. And they end their meeting because they think they're getting spied on by the Grommatic. Again, not sure how to pronounce that, but that's like the little machine guy that is always with Madame Morble. I feel like it's her spy. Okay, back again. Bach's friend, Avarik, returns from his summer vacation, and Avarik seems very handsome and popular. His arrival comes with a letter from Glinda, and in that letter she invites Elphaba to visit Fanny's lake house. Bach, of course, wants her to go because he misses Glinda very, very much, and he wants to be Elphaba's chaperone because she doesn't have an ama. So they go to Madame Morble, and she says, yes, you can take Bach and Avarik as your chaperones as long as you take Grommatic, my little spy, with you. They all get to the lake house. Turns out Glinda did not write the letter because she is very embarrassed when Elphaba shows up and Bach, and it was Fanny who wrote the letter as a trick on Elphaba. And Elphaba's like, well, whatever, I'm here. What room do I stay in? I'm hanging out, which is pretty funny. Bach does get to talk to Glinda, and they talk about, she loves Elphaba, but she also hates her because of how different she is, and, it embarrasses her, and she ends up kissing Bach. The next day, Glinda, Elphaba, Bach, Grommatic, and Amma Clutch, they go back to Shiz University. Avarik stays behind with the two ladies. Now Bach finds a drawing of the Cumbric witch in a really old book. It shows the witch wearing robes and silver shoes and nursing like a mother. Start again. Bach finds a picture of a Cumbric witch in a really old book. It shows the witch wearing robes and silver shoes. She is nursing, like a mother, an unrecognizable beast, while the flood waters are all around her. So Bach now thinks, because of this picture, it gives another explanation for the capital animals, and it combines elements of all the different myths into one. So Elphaba doesn't believe him at first, and she's like, look, Dr. Dillamond's about to hit that breakthrough, so let's just see what happens. She also tells him Glinda has not mentioned him, and he's too good for Glinda. Aw. And now Bach thinks Elphaba is in love with him. All right, so Bach is outside, and he sees Elphaba and Glinda and a bunch of people around crying in the park, which this is because Dr. Dillamond has been discovered dead in his lab. Ah, shock. And they watch his body. It's pretty graphic about his throat being slit and being carried away by the police. It talks about like the angle of his goat head and stuff. It was not pretty to read. So they say, well, hey, Amma Clutch heard something last night and got up, and she observed something funny outside the lab. But they can't find her since last night when Dr. Dillamond was killed. So Madame Morble tells them that Amma Clutch is in the hospital. She's had a relapse of her malady. And remember, the malady is not real. That's just what Glinda made up at the beginning because she didn't want to go to the big dorm rooms. So they go find Amma Clutch in the hospital area, and she's sitting there talking to a rusty nail. And that rusty nail was part of that story Glinda made up, that she stepped, or not made up. That's actually what happened. She stepped on a rusty nail. So she's sitting there talking to the rusty nail.